Feeling uninspired in your business, your relationship, or just in general? In this episode, we talk about why feeling uninspired or creatively blocked actually points to disconnection from yourself and how to make a small change with a big impact. Welcome to Too Much, Not Enough, the podcast helping 6 and 7-figure female leaders understand how chasing success is causing low self-worth and anxiety, and how awakening your divine feminine energy will reignite flow, abundance, and ease, making you feel excited about life again. I'm your host, Hannah O'Donovan, channel and activator of the untamed divine feminine. Let's get into it. In this episode, you'll discover why feeling uninspired or creatively blocked should be an alarm bell that you pay attention to. How high-functioning habits like overthinking, perfectionism, and constantly doing are actually cutting you off from your creative power. And how your relationship with yourself, your body, and your divine feminine energy will leave you with endless inspiration. So I actually used to believe that I was not creative. And that is a wild concept to me now because I create all day, every day in my life now. I feel inspired and I'm writing something, like I am creating a video, sharing in this podcast, creating a new program or offering. Like, it is wild. I actually feel now like if I don't let out of me the thing that wants to be birthed, that I might explode. So to think that just a few years ago, I didn't consider myself a creative person is wild. And also the fact that I didn't understand that we are just like all innately creative. And I think possibly it was because I connected creativity to this like very narrow definition, which is that it's like art you have to be creating, or like being in a creative field, or I'm not even quite sure. But I had this narrow definition of what creativity meant. And because I existed in a very masculine structured, logical life, that I wasn't creating. And part of that was not feeling inspired to create anything, or feeling like I didn't have creative energy in my body to produce things. And so now I have come to understand my relationship with my creativity, my creative channel way, way better. And one of the number one alarm bells for me when I am feeling really creatively uninspired, I'm like, why are things not flowing out of me like they normally do? I pay attention to that because it is such an important sign that I am disconnected from my divine feminine, which is our creative channel. And so recently, this actually happened to me. In the earlier part of this year, I was much more in flow. I was much more connected to my divine feminine than I have been in the past few months. And I couldn't keep up with the ideas that were flowing out of me. Like, I would be in the shower and I'd want to reach my phone so I could write something down. I'm walking, I'm driving. The number of times I have used the voice to text function while I am driving, because all of a sudden I have like all these ideas pouring out of me of podcast episodes, content that I want to put out there, things I want to share, ways that I want to be in service of women. And it felt never ending. I could every day get onto my phone and a video would pour out of me like I was channeling it. And then about a month or so ago, I had this moment where I was just like, I could not even imagine getting on social media right now and sharing a video. Like, I feel so uninspired. It is ridiculous. I was like, how did I go from being in that channeled flow-like state to this? My body was like physically resisting creating anything. And it felt like I couldn't do it on my own. And I was like turning to ChatGPT and being like, tell me what I want to do, what I want to put out into this world, how to say it, write my caption for me. And listen, I think that AI has its place in helping tease our ideas out, but like, there is something so beautiful about the pure channel of creativity coming from a human. And so I started thinking, like, why? What is happening here? Why am I so blocked when I was so in flow. And so, number one, like if you are feeling like this, if you are feeling like you've never been creative, or you're feeling like, oh God, I had all of these ideas and now I don't, what's happening? Pay attention to that. Don't just brush it off as like, oh, well, that's what happens, getting creatively blocked, or I'm not supposed to be a creative person. We as women have this unbelievable conception channel in us. Our womb space is not just to birth physical life into this world, which is stunning, but it is to birth forth ideas. It is to birth forth connection, truths, love, inspiration. Like women, we are here to birth our ideas, birth our purpose, birth our truth out from that place, and to nurture and mother those things into the world. It is not just about being a mother to a human child. It is about being a mother and birthing what your soul came here to express. And so if you are feeling creatively blocked, listen to that. Pay attention to it. Allow yourself to experience the adjacent grief that comes from not being able to express through that divine conception channel that is within you. And then I encourage you to pay attention to how high functioning habits that we get naturally caught up in this world, in this modern age, like overthinking, perfectionism, and feeling the need to constantly be producing, and how that is cutting you off from your creative power. Because when you think about masculine and feminine energy, which has nothing to do with gender, we both have both in us. The idea is to have that in balance, and not just in perfect 50-50 balance, but in balance that works for you in this moment of your life. And that means that if you are in a state of focusing on perfectionism, of doing and contributing and producing and logic and force and speed and greed and all these things that are natural human traits to connect to, you are in an overabundance of your masculine energy. You are in a hyper masculine state, which means that your feminine energy is being ignored, turned down, dismissed. Your feminine energy is where you get your creative power from. It's where you get your ideas, your ability to receive clarity and ideas and birth those ideas. And so if we are shutting this part of us down, this feminine part of us down, then of course we are cut off from our creativity. Of course we're feeling uninspired or blocked or confused, because we are completely shutting down a part of ourself that is required for us to function and feel like a fully embodied human. So the more you are trying to shove into your day, the more external content you are trying to absorb, the more you're turning to your AI chatbot to get ideas, the less you are connected to that divine feminine part of yourself. Because in order to feel inspired, in order to turn on the never ending flow of abundance when it comes to your creativity, your inspiration, we need to be tapped in to that divine feminine energy. And we do this by being in a state of receiving life, of receiving awe, love, and really taking care of ourselves and our body. We do it when we connect to nature, when we slow down, when we take care of ourselves, and not just from like a, masks and spas and massages perspective, although those things are beautiful, but when we take care of ourselves from the perspective of, how does our day feel in our body? Are we getting enough sleep? Are we nourishing our bodies in the way that they crave and want to feel like the feminine energetic side of us is being nourished? Are we giving ourselves space to even have creativity flow through us. Because if we're constantly jamming ourselves with external stimulus, there is no space for us to breathe and be in that stillness where life can flow in, where we can become that river that has no timeline. The water has no time or specific destination that it needs to get to. It is flowing and experiencing all the beauty and pleasure of life and allowing itself to open up to the journey. And so, this relationship with yourself, with your body, and with your divine feminine energy, when you are tapped into it, will leave you feeling like you have endless inspiration, like you don't have enough time in the day to birth forth the amount of ideas that come to you. So, if you are in a place of feeling creatively blocked or uninspired, whether that be at work, in your art, in your expression, or in your relationship where you're just not excited about planning a date or doing some fun, pleasurable things with my partner or coming up with a new idea at work, if this feels like a heavy duty or obligation that you need to connect to, then it's time to pause, to slow down, and create your own pleasure list. What are things that you can do that will get you back into relationship with your divine feminine? I can list so many here. There's breath work, there's mindfulness, there's meditation, there's moving your body, there's dancing, there's going to a dance class, there's connecting to your emotions, letting yourself feel sadness or grief or anger, allowing those things to flow through you to release the energetic blocks. There is getting yourself out of your comfort zone. So, really, like going to places or spaces that can bring back that connection to your divine right to receive beauty in life. Ask yourself, when was the last time you let yourself just be a witness to the pure beauty of life, of the human experience? And if you can't remember that, then no wonder that you are feeling uninspired or creatively blocked. When they say that like your best ideas come in spaciousness, that is because it is in our ability to pause, slow down, and be still that we reconnect to our divine feminine channel. And when we reconnect to that, it opens something up in us that allows these ideas, this purpose to flow through us. So, number one, if and when you feel uninspired or creatively blocked, do not dismiss that as just, I guess that's who I am or the season of life I'm in. I get to just not be creative or birth anything into this world. Witness it as the alarm bell that it is. That, oh my goodness, I am innately meant to be and feel creative. And when I am not, what behaviors, practices, actions am I engaging in that is taking me out of my feminine and too far into my masculine? How am I caught up in cycles of perfectionism, of needing to get everything exactly right, of forcing outcomes, of overthinking and overanalyzing every situation, of feeling the need to constantly produce to prove my worth? And how can I come back into relationship with myself, my body, open up that divine feminine channel again so that I can tap back into this endless inspiration that comes from there? And so I've even been doing this recently. Like I said, I got to a point where the thought of trying to put something out there, it was feeling repulsive to me. Like I was having a physical reaction to coming here to the mic and sharing. And sometimes we just need to give ourselves space and honor that resistance. But more than that, I really just like slowed down and took stock of the places where I wasn't prioritizing my own pleasure and joy, where I was constantly feeling like, okay, no, I've got to get this done first, and then later I will connect to my somatic channeling practice, which is the energy work that I do, or I will go out with friends, plan a dinner. I will just sit on the couch and laugh with my partner, or take a moment in my day to just be present. Because if I'm in a space where I am noticing my inability to be present, that is my first stop. What do I need to adjust here in order to be able to be more present with myself and others? And from there, we start to create the space in which our creativity can flow back into our lives. So I'll leave you with this question. What are you going to do this week to bring you back into connection with your divine feminine energy so that you can turn on the tap of inspiration again? Thank you so much for listening and evolving with me here on Too Much Not Enough. We release new episodes every Wednesday at 8 a.m. Eastern Time, so there is lots more coming for you. Are you still stuck in the cycle of overdrive and feeling anxious even after trying things like meditating, journaling, maybe even resting? These tools only work at the level of the mind and can't create the safety your body is craving when your nervous system is dysregulated. That's where the somatic return journey comes in. A free 5-day audio experience designed to help high-achieving women like you finally regulate your nervous system, awaken your divine feminine energy, and reconnect with the part of you that leads with flow and not force, no matter what's happening around you. In less than 15 minutes a day, you'll feel more grounded, empowered, and emotionally agile by this time next week. Head to the link in the show notes to get started.